The town of Raven's Hollow lay shrouded in perpetual mist, a forgotten relic in the heart of nowhere. Nestled on the outskirts atop a desolate hill stood the Grimwood Mansion, a decrepit edifice whose silhouette carved a jagged wound against the blood-red dusk sky. Its windows, long shattered, gaped like empty sockets, and its doors, weathered and warped, creaked mournfully in the wind. Alex, Sam, Jamie, Jordan, and Casey gathered at the foot of the hill, their breath visible in the chilly air. "This place gives me the creeps," Sam muttered, clutching his jacket tighter. Jamie, ever the skeptic, smirked. "Come on, Sam. It's just an old house. Ghosts aren't real." Casey, the group's self-proclaimed expert on the supernatural, glanced up at the mansion with a mix of excitement and apprehension. Real or not, something happened here. And tonight we're going to find out what. As the group approached the mansion, the last rays of the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, twisted shadows across the ground. The front door, barely hanging on its hinges, groaned as they pushed it open, revealing a dark, cavernous foyer. Dust motes danced in the beam of their flashlights, and the air was thick with the scent of decay. "This place hasn't seen a visitor in decades," Jordan remarked, running a finger along the banister and wiping away years of grime. They split up to explore, their footsteps echoing through the empty halls. In the dining room, Alex felt a sudden chill. He shivered, rubbing his arms. Did it just get colder in here? Before anyone could respond, a loud crash echoed from upstairs. They all froze, staring at each other with wide eyes. "Probably just a raccoon," Jamie said. But his voice lacked conviction. Night settled in, thick and impenetrable. They gathered in the living room, the flickering light of their lantern casting eerie shadows on the walls. Casey pulled out an old book, its leather cover cracked and worn. "I found this in the library. It's a diary. Might tell us more about this place." As Casey read aloud, the wind howled outside, and the house seemed to groan in response. Suddenly, a blood-curdling scream pierced the air. Casey dropped the book, and they all jumped to their feet. "That came from the basement," Alex exclaimed, grabbing a flashlight. They rushed downstairs, the beam of their light slicing through the darkness. In the corner of the basement, Casey saw her. A ghostly figure, pale and translucent, her eyes wide with terror. She reached out to them, her mouth opening in a silent scream before vanishing into thin air. The haunting escalated. Objects flew off shelves. Doors slammed shut on their own, and the air grew thicker with each passing minute. Fear gnawed at their sanity, and tensions flared. "Why didn't we leave when we had the chance?" Sam shouted, his eyes wild with fear. "We need to stay calm," Alex insisted, though his voice trembled. "There has to be a way out of this." As they frantically searched for a solution, Alex disappeared. They found him in the attic, his eyes wide with terror, muttering about a family murdered in cold blood. The diary, Casey realized. It mentioned a ritual to lay the spirits to rest. "We need to find it and finish what was started." With the spirits closing in, the friends found the final pages of the diary detailing the ritual. They gathered in the foyer, chanting the ancient incantations. The air crackled with energy, and the spirits appeared, their faces twisted with rage and sorrow. The house shook violently, and for a moment it seemed like they would be trapped forever. But as the last words of the ritual echoed through the air, the spirits let out one final agonized wail before dissipating into nothingness. The front door creaked open, and the surviving friends stumbled out, gasping for fresh air. They glanced back at the mansion, now eerily. Months later, Raven's Hollow remained much the same. The Grimwood Mansion stood as a silent sentinel, its dark history buried in whispers. Alex and Casey, the only survivors, never spoke of that night, but the haunted look in their eyes told a story of its own. The town moved on as towns do, but the mansion waited. And in the quietest moments, when the wind howled just right, you could almost hear the whispers of the restless dead, waiting for the next curious souls to step through its door.